Welcome to Scale Auto Guy's Workbench. Today we're going to be working on the 62 Catalina 421 Super Duty from AMT. Now this kit has been out for a little while and hope you enjoy. Let's take a look at what we got in the box today. Well, got the directions right here on top. Well, they look pretty self-explanatory. Nice big pictures. Oh, what we got here? Oh, got some decals. Got some license plates, and I'm not sure what that other one is, but we'll figure it out along the way. All right, nice big pictures. Nice detail. Ooh. Looks like we got one that you have to build the interior. It doesn't have a tub. These are always nice because you can detail the door handles and things like that a lot easier than if it was in a tub, you know, and you got to get in there with a little brush, and it's a lot more easier this way. So yeah, the only thing is when you have it like this, it's hard to get everything lined up. You know, it's a little bit more difficult. It's not horrible, but it's a little bit more difficult. But it even gives you directions on what color to paint things. It's only a suggestion, obviously, because you can paint whatever color you want. It's your model. You do it, you know, how you want to do it. But it's nice that they give you suggestions on what colors to paint. Okay, well, let's set that aside and let's dig into the box here. First of all, we got the body here. Let me set the box aside. It's molded. It's not in white. It's kind of an off gray kind of color. I don't see any flash or anything on this. You do have to remove this piece out of the engine compartment, but overall it looks pretty good. Oh, look, it even has a molded in headliner. You don't see that a lot in most cars. It's just a plain top, and it even has the sun visors in there and a dome light. Awesome. Okay, let's look what else we have here. Okay, here's your, oops, I gotta open this one. Here's your clear plastic parts. Has looks like your headlights, windshield, rear window, and an oddity here, a see-through steering wheel right there. That's pretty awesome. See-through steering wheel. Now this thing looks a little mangled up. We might have a little trouble getting that apart later on, but for right now it looks pretty good. Oh, and they have alignment tabs in your glass. I don't know if you can see that, the little holes. Those are alignment pins. Oh yeah, you can see that. Right inside, if you look inside here, you can see the alignment pins right there. So you can get that windshield in there, and the rear glass has the same thing. Get that in there with no problems whatsoever aligning that up. That makes it really neat, really easy. There's no guesswork there. And it's less likely to slip and mess up your glass with glue. Okay, we have our chrome tree here. I should have cut all these out first. Let me open that up. There we go. Set that aside. Chrome tree. You got your front and rear bumper, your grille. Nice detail. Baby moon hubcaps. That's nice. Looks like I don't know. Those look like air cleaners for your carburetor. Half steering wheel? Maybe. What do you think? Like a half steering wheel? We'll find out. Rear view mirror, gear shift. Yeah, that's nice. Then we get to the meat of the kit. All of that plastic. And there's a bunch of it, fellas. There's a bunch of it. Okay. Well, you got hood hinges and your hood, obviously. Nice, clean. Oh, it's no flash at all whatsoever on that. Wow, that's nice. Here's your seats, wheels, door panels, shock absorbers. Those are going to be nice to detail. I mean, you even got your little floor vents and all the door handles. I mean, they stick way up there, so you can really detail those nicely. Your wheel backs here, control arms, springs, seat back, radiator hoses, and your back seat right here. This is your front and rear suspension and valve covers. Looks like springs, front spindles, some rear suspension parts here, and your exhaust pieces. There's that big 421 engine. Yeah, that's going to be nice to detail as well. Radiator, support wall radiator. Look at that dashboard. Look at the detail on that. That's nice. Firewall, some more engine components. Exhaust manifolds, water pump, oil pan. All your engine parts are right here. So that's going to make it easy to detail paint all of that. And we're going to have fun with this one, I can tell. All right, let's move on to this next one. Your tailpipes, brake master cylinder. I'm not sure what that part is, but we'll figure it out. Your steering column, battery. This makes it even nicer too. You see what that is, right, guys? That is a separate frame for your floor pan. So you can paint this one color, say a flat black or a primer black, and then you can come in with a semi-gloss black or a gloss black and paint your frame, and it'll be a nice contrast when you put that all together. So, wow, this is going to be a real neat kit. Let's get on with it. Let's get started. I'm going to do some sub-assemblies, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back here. When I was prepping this frame and the chassis pan here, a bit of warning. These are the pieces of sprue that were attached to those two pieces, one each. See how big these parts are here where they attach. They're very difficult to get those off of there, even with the little clippers here. So be really careful when you do that. It messes up the edge of your chassis pan here a little bit. I was really careful as I could be, and I still have just a little mark right in there. I don't know if you can see that or not, if the camera will focus on it. Yeah, there you go. That's after a little bit of sanding. And I think that'll be all right once you get it primed up and everything. It should be fine. I discovered something really neat about this kit. You know, sometimes when you buy models and you're putting them together, the chassis pan doesn't fit in there quite right. It fits in real loose and sloppy. A nice thing here is this has alignment, little pins back here, and holes in your fenders up here in the front that match up with the little pins up here inside the fenders. So when you put this together, it fits in really nice and snug. You have to pull the body out just a little bit. It pops right up in there, and with a little bit of effort, just pull that back up until it lines up in the back, and push that up there, and everything lines right up like it should. It's in there nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. And when you drop your frame on there, it fits right down in place like it should. And this is going to go together really, really super nice. So let's get started with the other sub-assemblies. I've got this, I just wanted to throw this together and see how it would fit together, and see if it was a tight fit, or if it was going to be one of those problematic AMT kits that the chassis pan doesn't quite fit. And we're going to go with that. Let's get on with some other sub-assemblies, and I'll be right back. All right, we're getting to the point where I'm just doing a little cleanup work. A lot of people don't care about what I'm about to tell you about. And I just think by doing this next part, it helps clean up the look of certain things, like your exhaust pipes here, for example. Now, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get the camera to focus on this. Nope, it's not going to work. Along the edge of this pipe, it's real fine on this kit. Some of them, it really stands out. But this one here is really fine, but there's a mold line in there where the two halves of the mold come together. There's a mold line along that pipe, and you don't really see it now in the bare plastic. But as soon as you apply paint to that, you're going to see it. So what I do, I take a number 11 blade. This one here is old, it's dull, and the only thing I use it for is what I'm about to show you. I just take this and just lightly kind of scrape along there where that mold line is, and take that off. And the reason why I do that is, when I do my final painting on this, that line is not going to show up. It's going to look like what it should, a pipe, a smooth exhaust pipe. And just take that little mold line and just scrape it right off of there. The scraping marks aren't going to show up because after you lightly do this, it doesn't take much to knock it off. And once you apply your primer and your top coat of silver or steel, or if you want to rust it up to make it look like it's aged, weathered, whatever, you're not going to see any kind of scrapes that you put on this. And I do this to a lot of parts that should be smooth, but you'll see that mold line. I just kind of lightly scrape it off there. You can also use a sanding stick if you want. I like using the number 11 blade. It just is easier for me to maneuver that and get that done. So that's just another one of the tips that I'm going to share with you as I go along. I think it just makes it look nicer, neater. And you even want to do your mufflers. If you do your mufflers, the muffler's got that mold line on there too. And you just kind of scrape it enough to kind of round off the edge. And so when you do your final painting, you're not going to have that line there. So on to the next thing. Okay, for today we're going to be shooting the, well, I don't know if you can see that. It's Folk Art acrylic craft paint. It's color shift, and the color is called Raspberry Flash. The color's called Raspberry Flash. Now when you're airbrushing, you want to mix you thin your paint down to about the consistency of milk. That way there, when you push it through your airbrush, it's less likely to clog and it'll flow smoothly. So let's get this thing charged up here. And I'm shooting at about 18-19 psi. And I gotta put the tip in. As you've seen in other videos, I use the Pontiac Model H. Has interchangeable tips, and they're pretty simple to put in. Just line it up like that. Push this through, screw this down. This is how you adjust your flow. And then you get your Allen wrench and you lock that tip in. You don't have to crank on it too hard. You just kind of snug it down so it stays in place. Attach your paint jar. You're ready to paint. Now it's going to take a few coats. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I really like this color shift paint. It really comes out really super sweet. very forgiving too. Because it dries very quickly. Leave that set to dry, and we'll be back with a clear coat. Okay, here we are, getting ready for the final assembly. Still have to clear coat the body yet, but I have everything else assembled. The interior went together really easy, really nice. You have your door panels that go on, your seats that go in. Everything fits together really nice and tight. Firewall's in. I even have some battery cables run. And here's your main frame and the engine assembly. I have that installed with the radiator hoses, upper and lower radiator hoses and everything. Now it gets a little bit more complex from here because of all of the individual pieces that you have to put together. Your upper and lower control arms, your exhaust system. It's got a 4-link suspension in the rear, so you have your upper and lower links here and coil springs. The wheels are ready to go on, but you have these little locking rings here, and those go on the spindles to hold the wheels onto the vehicle. So I have to wait to put those together until I'm ready to put the tires and wheels on the car. Okay, we're here doing final assemblies. I'm going to be putting the windshield and the back glass into the body. As I mentioned in the intro, there are alignment pins and holes in your glass so that you can just pop it right into place. So I'm going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on it. I recommend this because it goes on clear, dries clear. If you make a mistake, it's very friendly, it's easy to clean up, and you just dab a little on there. It doesn't take a whole lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place the glass in there and just take the Mod Podge and put a little bead at the bottom. Just a smidge at the top. Like I said, that'll dry clear. You won't even see it in there when it's dry. Push that down in there like that until it's seated. Put your little bead of Mod Podge in there. And dab up here. Now this car also came with a rear view mirror, which is, and this is a good time to install that as well. And that has a little hole that it goes in. Just press that right on in there. And you can put a little dab of Mod Podge on that as well, just to hold it in place. Okay, here we are at the final. 1962 Catalina 421 Super Duty. This was a exciting kit to build. The detail on the interior and other parts of suspension was phenomenal. I went with the Folk Art Raspberry Flash Color Shift paint. That's an acrylic craft paint. Very easy to apply. if you thin it right, put it through your airbrush, you won't go wrong. There it is, in all of its beauty. I need to get a turntable. But there it is. Now there's parts that I didn't show you, mainly because it was very time consuming. It's the bare metal foil trim that I applied to this vehicle. I will have an upcoming tutorial video on how to apply bare metal foil for those of you out there that don't know how to do it. It's a time-consuming process, but when you get it done, it really makes your model stand out. Let's take a look under the hood. You can see that Pontiac 421 cubic inch big block, the dual carburetor setup. Yeah, that was a really neat build, this car. I really enjoyed it. All right, well, there it is. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below. I'll be sure to get back to you as quickly as possible. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. While you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that little bell so you get notified the next time I upload a video. Until next time, thanks for watching Scale Auto Guys Workbench.